So it's Labor Day weekend and all the crazies are out. This is one of my favorite weekends of the year because it marks the beginning of the best time in Colorado. I don't think there's a better time in Colorado that can exist than this wonderful weather we generally have in September and October without all the crowds. And I'll show you what we're going to do this weekend. So we're going up the Ute Pass Road, which is one of my favorite places to go in Colorado. Fly me to the moon, way up high in the stars. Let me spend a springtime on Jupiter and Mars. So we're going on a little trip. Behind me in another vehicle we have Jimmy, Selena, James Timothy, and a good friend of ours. We call him Taliban because he dresses and kind of looks like a Taliban. I don't think he has beliefs anything like them. We have a lot of fun with him, and he's a very spiritual person, so it's just a blast. We also have a big rain shower that's afoot. We don't know if we're going to get into it or not. We hope not. In Colorado, they say, if you don't like the weather, just wait a minute. It'll change. Fly me to the moon, way up high in the stars. Let me spend a springtime on Jupiter and Mars. So the immediate vicinity where we are has never really been very popular in Colorado because there's a big mining company, the Henderson Mine, which owns or at least leases or controls the majority of the land up here. And who wants to go camping next to a mine site? Basically, that's what this is. But on the other hand, we're close enough to a place called Winter Park, and Rocky Mountain National Park is just over the ridge. So there are a lot of people that come here. It's just that I wouldn't rank it as number one of places to come to visit when you come to Colorado. And for us, that makes it perfect because we're always looking for remote. We're looking to get away from the crowds. We want to do our own thing. And you can't do that if you go to all the really, really popular places. So this site really works well for us. There's a lot of history with Ute Pass. It used to be a major travel route. For who do you think? The Utes. Yep, FedEx delivers even out here. So we have come to the summit of Ute Pass. And I took many lovelies just to make sure I had a good one. Pretty hard to get a good shot shooting into the sun, but we'll try. So Ute Pass, here we are. Welcome to Grand County. That's the next county north to Summit County. Now this turns from pavement to dirt. Mostly it's paved all the way to the mine site. Oh, did I forget to tell you there's a mine site? And after the mine site, it's all dirt, mostly national forest. 30 miles an hour. They had a large fire over here called the Sugarloaf Fire. You could see the smoke plume all the way from Silverthorne. So that's a pretty big fire. Hopefully you're going to be able to see the mine here in a minute. No one wants to camp next to this ugly structure. And who knows, maybe they're great environmentalists, I don't know. But it doesn't feel like it. You don't feel like it. And there's signs all over this saying no trespassing, industrial site. So you can see why it's not as popular an area. Still, I'm seeing lots and lots and lots of people up here. So I guess other people had the same idea we did, which is why don't we get away from all the people and go be with all the other people. And all the people who are trying to get away from other people, that's where we're going. You can see how big this environmental site is, how big this mine site is. enormous project. And what many people don't know is this is just the tip of it. Mostly it's an underground mine. This lake is owned or controlled by the mine, so off limits to us who would like to play here. Just look how big that thing is. And that's nothing. Really, relatively nothing. We're going to go around this big corner. This is the water intake. Well, that big ocean out there is the tailings pond from this mine. Wait till you see it from below. And it's just tragic what they've done. And one of our campsites is right below this tailing pond. You always hope that it doesn't give way. But my gosh, just imagine. And so to explain, kind of, we're here on the Ute Pass road. We drove up to the mine site, which is right here. This is that little lake that we saw. And then we drove up here, and looking out is a tailings pond. All this is a tailings pond. And where we normally camp is just right about here. They really don't show it well on the map. I don't know if that's on purpose. The forest fire started down in this area and spread all over this hillside. And then it went further, of course. In the old days, they just left this environmental contamination out on the John Commons, and it was a tremendous strain on the environment of the mountains. They also use an enormous amount of water here. Now, if you look on the other slope, on the opposing slope there, you'll notice either dead trees or a forest fire. I'll have to get a little closer to tell you which one. I think that was a forest fire. And we're still on mining property. We've been driving over it for the last several, 15, 20 minutes. To give you an idea of how large that tailings pond is, I don't know, I can hardly see it in my screen, but I'm hoping to capture it. The Henderson Mill, run by Freeport McMoRan, could earn some needed good publicity by allowing people to camp on their immense holdings. Of course, there are parts that would not be safe for camping, but they have so much land up here that certainly there are a few places, and it would go a long ways to winning some needed votes for an occupation that is very unpopular. You can kind of get a grasp on how big that forest fire was. It was immense, and I'm not sure what the final determination was, whether it was man-made or lightning strike. Both have been reported, and it might have been both. So the place we were going to camp has been completely excavated, and camping won't be possible there. We're going to look here and see if this is a possibility. Looks like a lot of traffic here. My thing is, little Nixie's not going to handle dogs very well, so if they've got a Fido out here, that would end it for me. Part of the fun of camping is finding your camp spot, and sometimes you have to look in many places to find the right one. So we're going to go on down to the lake and see what the lake looks like. They have a free campground at the lake. So we decided to go back to the original spot. No one wants to go to the lake because little James Timothy is pitching a fit. That's just what 2-year-olds do. We found a wonderful place to camp, kind of at the end of the whole row. Very private. Little Nixie has to check things out. and make sure there are no dogs around. But she's not looking for coyotes or mountain lions. This is one of my favorite campsites in all of Colorado, partly because you can jam a lot of campers in here and still feel like you have room, even on Labor Day weekend. We have to give credit to James Timothy. He knows a good campsite when he sees it. But we are about 5 miles down from the mine site, so that's no fun. You can see that there is a lot of down timber, and this is where one of the fires was. It was a pretty bad fire, and it hit the area from both sides of the ridge. Little Nixie's enjoying exploring. ¿Cómo aparece?
Muy bonita. Muy bonita. Nunca había estado así.
No?
Y hoy voy a soñar.
This was Taliban's first time camping ever, and he really enjoyed it. Come on, darling. The mountains at sunset. I was on a milk run for James Timothy when I got this great view. It's a great spot, but there is no internet or cell service. And maybe that's why it's such a great spot. Little Nixie is just exhausted. Well, all great times eventually come to an end. It was time to pack the bags and the trucks, and everybody had their own way. I really had a great time. But this is what we do as nomads. We come together, we celebrate each other's company, and then we part. But we stay in touch, and I ask you to stay in touch too. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and if you write "I subscribed" in the comment section, I'll send you a message back, welcoming you. So we're dropping down into the valley, and we'll call it a day here. I thank you all for joining me, and, well, I hope to see you soon. This is Timothy Painter on the road. Bye-bye.